Okay, alright.
Hey everyone, this is Akshay Bhaskar from GeeksforGeeks. Welcome to another session where we talk about interview experience of one of our guests who has been a GFG user as well. By the way, there's something interesting I would like to tell you today. So the guest who's inviting, उनकी घर की लाइट गई हुई है, बिल्कुल अंधेरा है वहाँ पे, but he's using a flashlight so that he is visible and we can still go through it and every day we can do things. So you have to bear with us. थोड़ा सा मतलब लाइट है but थोड़ा सा पीछे डार्क होगा उनके, so कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन आवाज बढ़िया आ रही है तो सब सही होगा. Anyways, we'll continue the webinar in English. So before I move on, some hi hellos in the comments. Hi Neeraj. Okay, no electricity over there also, Neeraj. Parul will understand that, our guest. Okay. Hi Prateek, thanks. Anyone else? 14 people are live right now. Not much people are live, but I know maybe more people would be joining for sure. 20 away. Thanks Satyam, thanks for the support. Okay, let me tell you a bit about, hi Kshitij, a bit about the guest, the student who we are inviting. His name is Parul Chandel and he's a software engineer at Arcesium. It's a D-Shock group and he did his BTech in computer science from NIT Durgapur. So I'll just invite him and we'll talk about few questions and we'll also pick up questions from the comment section. Okay. Hi Aditya, hi Sarup. Shout out to everyone. Hi Ravi, hi Shankar. Hey. So, hi Parul. I told them about the situation over there, first of all. See,
Hi,
guys, you can
Akshay.
see that he's sitting in the dark with a torch light to just come live here and talk about his experience. So, be kind to both of us, please. So, Parul, hi. Welcome to the session, man. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. How are you
So,
doing?
yeah. So, 30 people are live. So, more would be joining. Let's start with the session. Why don't we start with a brief introduction about yourself?
Hi, geeks. My name is Parul Chandel. I belong to Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh. I did my bachelor's from in computer science from NIT Durgapur, and I have joined Arcesium as a software engineer in their treasury team. Prior to this, I was working with Eagleview India as a software engineer in backend with their image processing team. And apart from engineering and coding, I like to travel. I like to play chess, listen to music,
Oh,
and
nice.
write blogs.
I also play chess, by the way. मैं भी खेलता हूँ. Nice,
Okay,
man.
we'll
We have a
play
match
together
someday
sometime.
online, chess.com. Okay, let's not digress. Moving on to the next question. How did you get to know about the job opening at RCZM?
Actually, I got to know about the job opening via LinkedIn. I got a LinkedIn notification,
Okay.
and it was a LinkedIn easy apply. So I just applied on LinkedIn. That's it.
LinkedIn easy apply. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that works. That means. Yeah. And how many rounds were there in the interview?
So, including the coding round, there were in total 4 rounds, two technical interviews, and one
Yeah.
culture fit round in the end.
Okay. So can you step by step explain each and every round thoroughly, like?
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, after my application was shortlisted, I was given with a coding round. So, the coding test had 3 questions. I would say the questions in the coding round were anywhere from easy to medium on lead
Okay.
code. And
Hmm.
so the questions revolved around graphs, ad hoc maths, and binary search. And I
Hmm.
was able to solve all the 3 questions, because
Hmm.
of which I was shortlisted for the interviews. And
Okay.
the first technical interview was conducted by a senior software engineer in Arcesium. So the interview began with a long discussion about my projects in Eagleview and
Okay.
all the stack that we used in Eagleview, and why were the technical decisions that were being made during those projects. And
Hmm.
then there was a DSA question revolving around binary search. There was a
Okay.
long discussion on that DSA question because he wanted me to write. So it was a binary search based question. So he wanted to me to write the of like login approach and then optimize it to constant time using certain conditions. And Then he asked me a few questions on oops operating systems, and then uh, the second round again began with a long discussion on projects, and then a DSA question revolving around graphs,
Okay.
and then a few system design concepts like caching, and questions on OS and OOPS again. And
Okay.
then the culture fit round was basic culture fit questions like, family background, and
Okay. Okay.
my work and experience at Eagleview, and salary negotiations and all.
Okay. All right. So there were no advanced level questions in the interviews, like advanced tech questions from any topic, or was there only easy to medium level
Yeah, I would
in the?
say I would say the questions were easy to medium. Only like
Okay.
basic questions revolved around graphs and all. That's all. But
Okay.
the questions other than that were basically easy or medium level questions.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And you told about that they also asked about your project, right? So
Yeah.
let's get some light upon the fact that how important is a project and an internship in your resume.
I think for Arcesium in particular, the projects in for my interview played a really important role. There was a long discussion for about 15 to 20 minutes in every interview, in the beginning of every interview, about the projects and the work I did in Eagleview. And they even discussed everything on my resume. For example, I wrote that I write blogs on Medium about
Hmm.
my learnings in Eagleview. So one of the interviewers went to Medium and went through my blogs, and then like told me that you should keep writing and all. So everything on your resume literally matters when you're interviewing for RCGM.
Definitely. Any project ideas you want to share, Parul? Because whenever we do such sessions, people ask about project ideas generally. So I would say
Yeah.
any one or two project ideas, and also how much minimum project or projects should a person do should have in his resume or his or her resume. वो भी बताओ थोड़ा सा.
Okay. So I think we shouldn't. One should not have like trivial projects which everybody. There are a few projects that everybody does. You should do something that is different in a sense. Let's say, and uh, just copy pasting from GitHub won't also work. So
So
yeah.
like example of one or two projects you would say that okay this is a good project, or you can go there and see and get some project ideas there.
Yeah.
By there I mean a link or a website or a source, anything something you
Uh,
can mention.
Okay. So there's
Hmm.
a GitHub repository called How to X. So it has like 150 or 200 project ideas in various
How
languages,
to what?
and
How to?
how to X, like
Okay.
how to anything basically. X is
अच्छा, अच्छा,
means
अच्छा, अच्छा, okay, 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 okay.
yeah.
Got it. ठीक
So
है.
it has various implementations of projects in various languages: Golang, Java, C++. So I made a torrent client by following the instructions on that uh, GitHub repository in Golang. So that is still
Okay.
mentioned on my resume.
Oh,
So yeah.
oh, that sounds like a good project, which you
Yeah.
just said. Okay, so people can get ideas from that repository which you're saying.
Yeah, it has a lot of
The name of the
ideas if you want
repository
to.
is how to X, right? The name of the
Yeah.
repository is this. Okay. All right. So, internship. What about anything else about internship? Like, did you do one?
No,
Or
actually, I didn't do one in my college time. I was doing a project under a professor, so I didn't do. I couldn't get an internship. Basically, at that time, I was not well
yeah, I
prepared.
think you didn't need it. Maybe. Yeah, तुम्हें जरूरत नहीं पड़ी. But वैसे internship के फायदा, like is there a
Yeah,
benefit to the internship? Like real time experience is one thing which I think people get when they go
yeah,
through.
obviously.
Yeah. So if there's a possibility, they can go for it, right? Like
Yeah, sure. Because as I said, like real time experience or industry experience matters a lot, and they focus more on the industry experience. They'll ask you a lot of questions revolving around it. So one of my friends who did an internship in Amazon was also interviewing with me.
Oh,
in Arcesium. So he was asked a lot of questions around his interview experience with Amazon and like all the work he did at Amazon. So yeah,
okay.
internship experience matters a lot.
Okay, okay. So, Parul, next question is the around the fact that it's around the motivation thing, right? Like, how do you keep yourself motivated? There must be times that you must have faced some rejections also. I'm sure this won't be your first company as to giving an interview. Maybe you gave more rounds, right? So, when you face that rejection, when you see that things are not going the way I thought they would, then you feel a bit demotivation. How do you tackle that?
So I think the key is to be consistent and keep practicing. You know, everybody fails at some point. Nobody is able to clear all the interviews that they attend. So, you know, it's
Right.
important to learn from the failures, what went wrong in a particular company that you're interviewing
Hmm.
for, and just focusing your preparation a bit on the areas that you are weak at, practicing consistently, and, you know, learning from your mistakes is the key, I guess, to move
And I
forward.
think one thing is that I use a lot is that music. I have a playlist. I have some songs
Yeah.
that give me that pump
L-
when I'm down.
yeah,
They give me that.
lightens you up sometimes.
Yeah, it works. Definitely works for me, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it works for many people. That's the power of music, right? And obviously,
Yeah.
there are other things that you need to keep on doing things, and understand that there are so many opportunities ahead, and you're
Yeah.
learning from every experience. You're learning. It's not a failure as per se. It's just an experience, right?
Yeah. There's a quote
Oh,
by Steve Jobs that says that
yeah.
you can only connect the dots looking backwards. So you
Hmm.
can't know beforehand that, you know, what is going to go right or what is going to go wrong.
When as you said, when you reverse engineer, then you think, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense now, but it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense then.
Yeah.
So it will make sense in the future. So guys, just keep learning and keep doing. Is all I always say at the end of the webinar. Okay, so that was really good answer, man. Thank you. And any placement related advice you would like to give to the viewers?
Uh, so today, like these days, I've seen that many people do competitive programming, or, you know, the craze for competitive programming just because they think that, you know, it will help them get better placements. That is true if you are taking it in the sense of preparing for placements rather than just getting 5 star or 6 star on CodeChef. So the important
Okay.
thing is to keep your basics ready, I guess, with or without competitive programming. Keep practicing. There are a lot of good platforms like Lead Code, Geeks for Geeks itself. I have used Geeks for Geeks very intensively for my placement preparations.
Great, man.
And yeah, and keep learning, keep studying. I guess in the end, consistency is what matters. You can't do anything in 2 days or 3 days if you're trying to prepare for an interview. The longer you keep preparing, the more prepared you'll feel, the better you'll feel about your preparation. And
Definitely.
I guess that's the advice I like to give to everyone.
Okay, man. That's great. Awesome. So, Parul, that was all from our side, the questions which we wanted to ask you. But
Yeah,
now we will jump onto the segment of this webinar where we go through the comments and we pick up today. I think we can pick up two questions. We'll pick up two questions and we'll talk
yeah,
about
sure.
it. Okay. You can also go through the comments. I will advise everyone who is watching us that please put in your questions in the comment section now. We'll wait for 30, 40 seconds and then we'll start picking it up. Okay. Uh, so Aditya has some kind words for you, Parul. If you can see that comment. So thanks,
Yeah,
Aditya.
thanks, Aditya.
Yeah, you can also talk to people if you want. Like we have like half a minute. People,
So I see a
you
question about my final CGPA.
no, okay, fine. You can answer that quickly.
So my final CGPA was 7.5.
And how much does it
No,
matter? Let's take
it
Nishant's question. How much
it
CGPA matters?
for in campus placements, I guess it matters for some time. I
Okay.
would say like you at least you need to clear the cutoff of a company to interview for that. I guess 7.5 or above or 8 or above should not be a problem. Uh,
Okay.
And some companies, like a few banks like Goldman Sachs and all, they focus a lot on CGPA. Even DShaw focuses a lot on CGPA. So yeah, in some companies, CGPA matters
It matters,
in
right?
campus placements. If you
Okay.
are applying off campus, then I don't think so.
Okay. Parul, your video is stuck. I guess. Yeah. So can you look
Okay,
why
okay,
it's
sorry.
stuck? Yeah. Then we'll move on to the next question. Okay. There are more questions coming up. Till the time he's sorting his video out, guys, you please type in your questions. What are scores for a
Is it fine
person?
now, Akshay?
Um, Still not working, but I guess that's okay because your voice is not breaking. Wait. Something is happening. Guys, he's joining back in a minute. Please be patient and take this time to think about what you can ask. Okay, he's here. Wait. He's here. Wait, I removed this question. Parul, can you hear me? Hmm. Karthik says which language is best for placements? What coding questions are asked in first and second round? So, Arup, we have already answered this question like previously in the video. You can check it out. Does branch matter in placement for a role of ST? Okay. Uh, Sorry, guys. I need to call Parul and ask what's happening there. Really sorry. Guys, if you're with me and you can wait for 2 minutes, please give me a yes in the comments. Please, I need your support. Please. Parul, are you figuring it out? Okay. We everyone is waiting for a minute. We're live right now. You just join as soon as possible. Thanks. 2 minutes, yeah, okay. Guys, 2 minutes, please. He's joining in. Thanks, Sagar. Thank you for the support. Thank you, 478 Sudeep Banerjee. And thanks, Swaroop. Thank you, Suraj. You guys are really supporting, yeah. Uh, okay, I can use this time to tell you what I would tell you later. So, Geek Summer Carnival is coming in mid-April. You just go through the link in the YouTube description, check it out. And Inderji said that why YouTube our ad is coming before our video because we are really excited about the Geek Summer Carnival which is coming. It is huge for us. So obviously we would tell what offerings we have for all of you. So that's the reason, Inderjit, we kind of tell what we are offering because the prices are really good and it's worth it. And I know if you check it out, definitely we would benefit from it. So that's the reason. Okay. Uh, Aditya, can you tell me something about C language? Aditya, this question obviously Parul would answer for you, right? We're waiting. We just did one question. One more question we could do. We have a time limitation of 20 minutes from like now we have for interview experience, but we can take it till 2023 at max. I'm afraid if we couldn't join in another half a minute, then I would have to, end the webinar with one question only. Motivation for being consistent while practicing DSA questions. So many questions. Last try I'm giving, guys. Easy. We are done, I guess, 20 minutes. Okay, so we can do one thing. I'll tell you that in the YouTube description, there's a link to his LinkedIn URL also, Parul's LinkedIn profile. So I'll just, if he couldn't connect, then I would just call him and tell him that, I have told the students about your LinkedIn profile. They'll connect with you, and whatever questions, rest of the questions you have, and if you feel that you want to ask him, you can just connect with him, add a note, add your question, and ask it there. So if it couldn't happen here, you can ask it there. And I have a doubt that he would join, guys. So uh, I'm really sorry about this. This actually just happened haphazardly that his net got some issue. You could already see that we were, doing things. There was no electricity, but this thing was like completely not. We did not see it coming. So sorry about that, guys. I think you'd bear with us. So without delaying any further, I think he won't be able to join. And just you try to answer. Sagar, all right. Parul is here. Parul, hi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay,
improved the
man.
lighting conditions.
Thanks for joining. I was just talking to everyone. So Sagar is saying, Akshay, you try to answer with your experience. Sagar, I was in RBS 5.5, 6 years ago as a software analyst, and then I'm into marketing. I learned everything marketing. So I think Parul is a better person to take up your questions rather than me. I understand things, but I'm not the best one to answer here. So I mean, Parul is there. Parul, one more question. Pick one more question. We are already 22 minutes in the webinar. So one more question. Which one do you want to answer?
Anything would work. I can't
Okay.
see the comments
I need. I'll
actually.
pick up the comment. I'll pick up one question because people are getting
Yeah, sure.
people are getting really really funny in the comments. Happy tent का ad shoot हो रहा है क्या? भाई it's due to your flash eye. No, no, wait. I'll pick up one question. All right, all right, all right. Wait. Do you want to talk about system? How much system design matter for a fresher? Do you want to talk about this, Parul?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So Deepto will pick up your question. Last question. Yeah, please.
So, uh, system design for a fresher, I would say you're not expected to know how to like design complex systems or anything. You are just expected to know the basic concepts like the basics of system design, like cap theorem, what is caching, how is caching done. For example, in my interview in Arcesium, I was asked about the real life uses of caching policies, like MRU and LRU. How do we use it in real life? So yeah, like you are not expected to design systems in most of the companies. Some companies have a dedicated system design round, like Flipkart, for example. Even Amazon, I don't think so. Maybe Amazon has a low level
Okay.
design round for freshers. But yeah, Flipkart has a machine coding round for freshers. So only a few companies focus
Okay.
on like designing systems. Other than that, it's just basic that you need to know.
Okay. Okay. So, and how to apply off-campus? Pooja is asking. This answer is simple, right? LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah, easy and simple. I
Amazing.
would suggest that you send requests to as many people as you can, connect with as many
It
people as you
works
can,
so well,
because
man.
the more people
It
you connect
works
with,
so well.
yeah, yeah, the more people
Yeah.
you connect with,
Same
the more
connection.
info you'll have about new openings.
There's a best thing that when you
Yeah,
send a connection request on LinkedIn, you can add a note. In that note, you just add, "Na, I
yeah,
am looking out for a switch. I'm looking out for a job. Check out my profile." It works, man. You
yeah.
do it like to every HR. Just
I
put a
guess
filter search on
the
every HR.
the key is to be direct. You don't need to make friends on LinkedIn. You just have to be professional and just be to the point. That's it. And I
Yep.
think most of the people who are on LinkedIn are available to help. They are, you know,
Yeah. And okay. Okay. Thanks, man. So we're done with the questions. We're done with the comments as well. I would like to ask one thing. I told the when you were figuring out your thing. over there. I told them that they can connect with you on LinkedIn and ask questions. You're willing to do that, right? We're willing to help.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Okay. Okay, great, man. So, Parul, thank you so much for joining us. And it was a fun and a kind of a session for us because so many things we were figuring out. And Disho and Arcesium are same,
Yeah.
right? Ashish is asking. Yeah, same, man. Okay. Um,
Arcesium actually handles the technology part of DShaw. So
all right.
basically, what happens is DShaw is a mutual fund, and Arcesium is the software that helps the mutual fund. And then they have just
Got it.
made it public for everybody to use.
All right. Got it. Got it. And one a little like different question. Last one: is the life enjoying fades down while preparing for big tech? It depends on you, I guess. If you enjoy it, why would
Yeah.
it fade? And come on, Sonia, it's up to you.
You know, life is about balance. You don't need to lose track of your life while preparing for companies or anything. You just need to dedicate time per day, be consistent, and other than that, the rest of your life can stay the same, I guess.
Yeah, man. I completely believe in that, what you said. All right, Parul, thank you again, and I'll bid you goodbye. And that was it. I hope you liked the session, providing value of
Yeah.
experience. People will definitely connect with you, I'm sure. Now, you can't get stuck right now, man. Come on. We were like 2 seconds away from bidding goodbye to each other. Okay, guys. The the goodbye was a little abrupt, but okay, fine. All right. So I already told you about the coupons. Go check it out, and that's about it. Hi, Arjun. Thank you. Uh, so that's about it. You have to, see that what works for you when it comes to preparing. Right? It's not like there's not a fixed thing. You see what works for you. How much hours? How much balance? How much things. So Sonia, it doesn't fade away. You have to you have to take ownership of what you're doing and do it in the best way possible. And by best, I mean your best, not like best which gives you a lot of stress. That doesn't make any sense. All right. Bye, guys. Take care. Thank you for joining today. Every day will come with such sessions. This is Akshay Bhaskar from Geeks for Geeks. Hi, Karan. I'm good.